What is going on, YouTube? PPS is back here. Last day of March. Coming at you with another round of our YouTube free plays. I'll be giving out 2 of them tonight. And I'm very, very excited for this one. Fantastic game tonight with the Bucks and the Nets. I'm going to be all over that game. Obviously, you guys know, huge Bucks fan here. And they always provide pretty fun games. A ridiculous 243-point total. But let's get a little recap from yesterday. Jalen Green absolutely crushed. Fred VanVleet, unbelievable. I thought Toronto would win. I was not expecting an absolute blowout. I think it ended up being like 25 points. He had 20, I believe. I believe he ended up with 20, and then didn't play the fourth quarter at all, which is unfortunate because he's usually 38 minutes a game. And an absolute gut punch. Just the way this month has been going, man. Jalen Green, Davion Mitchell, plus 700. Davion Mitchell had 24 points. Jalen Green with 30. It's just the way it goes, I guess. I mean, there's really not much I can say about this one. There's not much. I mean, Davion Mitchell had enough shots, enough opportunities, missed free throws at the end. Jalen Green did exactly what we thought he would do, and we were 1 point off. Trey Lyles has the game of his life, and Davion Mitchell had like 9 assists. I mean, I don't really know about this one, so I'm going to roll with that one and just be okay with the results. Obviously, for plus 700, I thought that line was off, and it just shows it was off a little bit and should have been a little bit lower than plus 700 here. So, like I said, I'm going to have both games. I'm going to have both of my plays in the Bucks game tonight. And the first one I'm going to go with is a smaller play. It's a plus 110 play. And it's going to be Kevin Durant over 2.5 threes made at plus money here. I really like this spot. I mean, you guys know, obviously, as a Bucks fan, we, especially now with Brook Lopez, we're going to see a lot of threes put up in this game. He's a drop guy. Obviously, he's going to help out Drummond quite a bit. I think that Drummond will get quite a bit of run now with Brook Lopez in there because obviously he's more of a paint guy. More post-up guy than Portis is. But Kevin Durant has actually been shooting a lot more threes post All-Star break, a full extra 3 per game since the All-Star break. 36 games before the break, he was shooting 5 threes per game, and he was making 1.9, which is shooting about 37% from 3. Post All-Star break, in the 13 games there, he's been averaging a full minute extra, obviously because they're pushing for the playoffs here. And he's shooting an extra 3 per game, shooting 38% from 3, 6.1 threes per game attempted, and 2.3 threes per game made. So he's been fantastic, averaging 31 points per game post All-Star break as well. And Kevin Durant, I mean, he absolutely nukes the Bucks. It's the same thing with Giannis against these guys. Kevin Durant, in the last 2 years, is averaging 33 points against us every single game. A 42-pointer in there, 32, 32, 30, 29. I mean, he does what he always does. If you go into those games, he's hit the three-point mark in 3 of those 5 games. And, I mean, obviously he's been fantastic. We really have nobody to guard him. We're not going to use Giannis on him. When Middleton guards him, he's just not tall enough. Durant is a unicorn. We know that. I do like his points. I think it's 30.5. But when you look at it, a little bit deeper, I think the plus money here is definitely worth the stab, especially when you have already hit it in 60% of games in the last 2 years. I think Kyrie being back actually helps here because I think Drew Holiday obviously is able to match up with Kyrie decently well, better than most. And I think Durant and Seth Curry shooting threes is going to be a very important part to this game if the Nets want to stay in it. It's going to be a playoff-type atmosphere, and I cannot wait to watch it. So Kevin Durant over 2.5 threes made against the worst. I think the Bucks allow 38% of their points from 3. It's going to be it's going to be a rain fest. Obviously, they could be getting really out of hand really fast, but I think with the addition of Drummond, the Nets are going to be a lot tougher now. I think that is going underappreciated because the Bucks really don't run a true center. Brook Lopez is shooting all these threes out there. I think that's going to be a tough matchup for him down there. I think we're going to see a fun game. I think it'll be fun. I think the over is even a little low, 243. Both these teams are going to be running and gunning. Defense is going to be maybe something in the fourth quarter, but transition should be all over it. And Kevin Durant's going to be my guy here with over 2.5 threes made at plus 110 for 0.75 units. And Giannis in a primetime game, man. That's all I got to say. Giannis over 31.5 points at minus 110. You guys know I went there again in our last game. Giannis got that game against Philly. Guess what? He dropped 40. That's what he does in these big games. I know there's not much behind that, but when Giannis plays in these primetime games, he comes out and shows out for the people here. Obviously, he's been fantastic. I know he does have a questionable tag by him, but I really don't think that that's going to be an issue, especially for a game like this. Going into the month of March here, he's averaging 32 points per game. Post All-Star break, 31.5 points per game, shooting 57% from the field post All-Star break, grabbing boards at an alarming rate, 13 boards per game in those as well. And yeah, when we have like these Thursday games, usually Giannis is in these primetime ones and he's shooting 54% in those games as well. So when we have these Thursdays and Tuesdays where you kind of have those bigger games, or like those highlighted games with a smaller slate, Giannis is usually in those, obviously shooting very well in those games. Again, if we go into our last 2 years versus the Brooklyn Nets, Giannis is playing an average of 35 minutes in those games, and that's very skewed by one game where he only played 27, and I believe that one was a blowout. That he was plus 17 from the field in his plus minus. And other than that, he's been 31 plus in every single one of them, 36 plus in the other four there. So obviously averaging 34.5 minutes per game in those. And he's averaging 35.2 points per game in those games. Shooting it very, very efficiently, 50% from the field. And obviously that is skewed by the one game. He scored 36 points against them and only shot 36% from the field. He was 10 for 12 from the stripe, though, which was very important there. Another thing that's important is he doesn't have to guard one of their top guys here, right? He's never really he's not really guarding their top guy when they play. So he hasn't really been fouling as much either, which usually is an issue with Giannis in some of these games, but obviously against the Nets, that hasn't been the issue. Again, looking in it, he's averaging 35.2 points per game and has only missed this number 2 times in his last 2. And I think that's why we're getting this line a little bit lower. I remember like last year, it was like 32.5. You're getting 33.5 in some of these bigger games here because they know that Budenholzer's a guy that's going to hold the starters back a little bit in minutes. But in these primetime games, Budenholzer kind of lets him go and kind of lets Giannis kind of run the show here. Like I said, last year, a 40-minute game, a 36-minute game, 37, 36 in there. I mean, we should see a lot of Giannis in this one. I'm kind of excited to see how this game goes, like early on. I'm curious if it's going to be like a foot race track meet from the beginning. Obviously, Giannis draws fouls better than anybody here. So I love Giannis to hit this 31.5 point mark. Again, like I said, in the last 2 years, he's hit this in every single game but 2. Obviously had almost a 50-point game against Durant when Durant had 40 in that same game. I remember that one. That one was crazy. So love Giannis tonight. Love him against the Kyrie Durant squad here. I'm very excited to watch this one again, like I said prior. So obviously you guys can tell I'm excited about this one. So Bucks, I'm going to take them, obviously. I think their first half, they're +1. I'll probably sprinkle on that. But I'm taking Giannis over 31.5 points for 1.5 units, and then throwing a 0.75 unit play here on Durant to make 3 threes tonight at +110. So thank you guys so much for tuning in. Appreciate every single one of you guys. We will have another play tomorrow morning on Pass the Prop, and I'm very excited to pop back on for that morning coffee play with you guys. So have a great day, guys. Best of luck on all your bets. Have a good one.